The Treachery of Images by Ren'e Magritte is a seminal work of the Surrealist Movement. A simple painting of a tobacco pipe with the words in French underneath, "This is not a pipe." The message of this piece is simple. This is not a pipe, but rather a representation. The whole world of art revolves around the idea of representation. The realist work aims to represent the art in the most realistic detail they can. An impressionist, the impression of the object in question. And the abstract painter or sculptor, the abstract feeling of the subject. Kylie Glover's work revolves around taking the natural world and turning it into a composition you can keep and enjoy. The beauty a realist finds and tries to capture in nature, Kylie does not represent but preserves for the viewer, composing butterflies, beetles, mushrooms, and two works of art for those who experience it. So please come and join me as we go and meet Kylie Glover. And as always, if you want to help me spread people's stories, remember to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts below.
Started?
We gotta restart it.
Okay, that's fine. No, that's totally fine.
Yeah, those are practice round.
Yeah,
practice
I needed
round.
that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You did wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
So today I'm interviewing Kylie.
Yes.
She's Art by Kylie on Instagram or Need 222
Yes.
Breathe. And of course I'm going to have that link down below. And she's an artist, and I think it'd probably be best if she introduced herself, and we'll go from there.
Happily. Thank you so much for having me. Also, I really appreciate you taking the interest and the time to see what I'm into.
Well, yeah.
Yes. Like you said, my name's Kylie. I'm a Texas native, born and raised here in Tyler, and I would say that my art is focused around nature. I've definitely found a passion for foraging, and so I like to use what I find, whether it be mushrooms or bugs or even rocks, like a cool rock on a walk. I'll use that for my artwork.
Yeah. So, like the foraging, is that for food? Or did it start
Sometimes,
out?
yeah, sometimes I found a lot of cool mushrooms, especially out at, just parks locally too. There's a lot of edible mushrooms.
Yeah.
The ones you can't eat though, I put in artwork. Yeah,
Oh,
but I'll
okay.
eat them when I can. Yeah, free food.
Cool. So I guess like what started that interest for you?
I would say my interest in, like when I first started noticing that I thought art was everywhere, like when I was in nature and I was just like, this is as pretty as a painting, but really the painting is just because of how beautiful nature is.
Yeah.
So I think, just being outside, that's when I felt like the most bliss. And so I tried to captivate that and capture it. And then I can give those moments to people through my artwork, like what I find. And then when I take the time to make it into, whether it's like a display or whatever I make for them.
Just sort of almost, I guess, a time capsule.
Exactly, yeah. I remember...
Instead of a representation.
Yeah, I remember like the moment where I found it and how exciting that was. And then when I took the time to sit down and like make the art too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then it's special giving it to people too. I've been doing booths and stuff, and that's fun.
Yeah.
Meeting people and sharing.
So how long have you been at it?
I would say that I started Need 222 Breathe January 1st of 2024. I was like, this is serious. I'm going to pursue this. I want this to be my future. So that's when I started to really put myself out there. I made my website on February 22nd. Thought that was on brand, the 222.
Yeah.
And then by March I was doing booths. And
So there any significance, if I can talk today, in the 222? Or
yes, yeah, that is. Thank you for asking. A lot of people are familiar with like 1111 and like Make-A-Wish. So I think that's kind of my special number, the 222. I see it and I'm like, okay, I'm at the right place at the right time. Sometimes I'll just be having like a ordinary day, like coming home and I'm in traffic and I'll see it on like a license plate and I'm like, everything's okay. Like I can go home and make some art.
Yeah. So it's like one of those, just like you connect that number with.
Yeah, it's not special to everyone. I'm not saying that like that number is magical, but like seeing it makes the moment magical. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
a
sort
real
of
blessing.
yeah. It's kind of like, and I don't know. You put that power into it almost.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm what makes it magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So you're a wizard then.
Keep it on the DL.
Yeah. So you mentioned like, you know, part of it was like looking for edible plants and stuff.
Yeah.
So when did you start doing that?
When I met my partner, Bryce, he's definitely very educated. So we started going like hiking. That's kind of how we started our like romantic entanglement. We actually went crystal mining on our first date, and
That's pretty cool.
yeah, whenever we were out there, we started seeing mushrooms, and he knew what everything was, and I've had to educate myself because I don't want to eat something and die, but
Yeah.
it was fun, like learning through him and like falling in love with it and falling in love with him at the same time. It was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely educated me. And now I can feel confident when I'm out with my friends. I can be like, look what I just found.
So did he like take biology or something, or was it just like interest?
Yeah, years of college. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably way more than I can just learn from him, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, that way you don't have to pay for it, you know.
That's a good
you
point.
just,
Yeah, it's a good point. I remember when I was talking about wanting to go to college for art, everyone was like, that's going to be a waste of time. That's pointless. And yeah, that was hard to hear, but to, you know, maybe study nature or something.
Yeah.
And art too.
So,
I don't think it's a waste of time.
So did you go to college for art?
I didn't.
Yeah.
I did not. Yeah, I think that kind of like, I don't know. I knew in myself I was still going to do it, you know, even if I didn't go to school for it, but there definitely wasn't a support system. Like I felt like there was no use in going for it. Like no one is going to be proud of me if I went to school for art, but now that I'm adult, I feel totally different about that. I just, didn't have that.
Did you go to school for anything or no?
No, yeah, I've just been.
I mean, I'm not trying to make you feel bad.
No,
I'm just
totally,
trying to
yeah, I
tell your
understand.
story. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. I think, yeah, not trying to justify it, but I was like, maybe I just shouldn't go for art if I can just make it.
Yeah. I mean, that is a thing. Like school definitely is extremely valuable.
Yeah.
And helping you learn to think, giving you information and stuff. But I mean, like the most important thing is, I would say, getting your work out there more than anything.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. Well,
I think I tried to keep true to that. I was like, even if I do go to school for it one day, like I'm not gonna start making art. You know, I'm not gonna just give up now because, yeah, I never did.
Yeah.
And I never will.
Yeah, I mean, like definitely, because I went to school for like multimedia and advertising.
No way, cool.
So like what I did was mostly geared towards like TV and radio sales, but you know I took journalism classes, I took graphic design, different
that's
stuff
all
like
useful with what you're doing now.
that.
Yeah, definitely.
But to tie that into what I was saying about the like what's most important is like people would go through these classes and a lot of them, I mean, they pass great, right? But they're also just doing the bare minimum thing, like exactly what the professors tell them to do.
Yeah.
And it's like, so technically, like, yes, you do pass, but you don't have that passion, I guess, and you don't have...
that makes sense.
You don't have something afterwards where you can go to somebody and say, like, look at this art I've produced, because you did the bare minimum, you know?
Yeah.
So it's definitely a... school is good as long as you are passionate about it and you want to put that into it, you know? And there's definitely other ways to accomplish things.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So, because what you do is, like we said, sort of a time capsule, almost. Like, it's very geared towards the natural world and stuff. Did you try different styles of stuff before you went into that? And what's your journey with that?
Yes. I had not really dabbled in it before recent years. I was kind of scared of bugs. I knew I liked to admire them, but I didn't want to touch them or anything. So here recently, I started finding like a lot of cicadas and stuff, and so I started collecting them. And then I was like, you know what? They're dead, by the time I get them. I'm not out like killing live bugs to
Yeah.
put them in a frame. So they're already dead, and I've gotten way more comfortable like handling them. And then I worked with Trisha for a little bit framing, and so I kind of learned, wow, I could like keep this forever instead of just having it on a shelf or somewhere it could get damaged. I could preserve it and keep it safe. And yeah, then I just started having fun with it and putting moss and mushrooms and all kinds of stuff in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
No. Do you know what's her name? Michael Lewis from Maiden Voyage Tattoo?
I've heard of Maiden Voyage.
Yeah, the tattoo.
Yeah.
She runs it, but she collects live beetles and stuff.
No way.
Yeah. So I was like, maybe you should go hang out with her.
No, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, she sounds cool.
Yeah. No, you've got a similar style too. So.
I love that. Yeah, I'm always looking for cool girls in Tyler.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But so and I guess like, have you seen success at what you're doing, art and everything?
I would say just having people enjoy what I'm doing is the success. Like having you here right now is so cool that you're even interested in what I'm up to. But also the booths, like seeing people come up and look at my artwork and like be happy. No one's really been
It's okay. We'll just go audio.
Okay, yeah, that's perfectly fine. I think seeing people happy with what I do is like the end game. I think even if it doesn't become like my full-time, source of income or anything like that, as long as people are loving it and keep gift giving, yeah, I think that's the success. Is people are liking it. We got some background music going.
Give me 1 second.
No worries.
I'll just set it down. What are we at? 11 minutes, and then you won't have to worry about how you look or anything.
Okay, I'm not worried about how I look. I kind of was worried. Maybe that was shaking in my boots, but
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Now you don't have to worry about it. It's gone away.
Exactly.
So, I do want to ask you, are those turtles?
They are. They're turtle skulls. Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
they are.
No,
Yes.
I've got my own collection of skulls at home.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
Thanks for telling me that. Yeah, that's awesome.
Not human ones. But
Okay, yeah, you never know, actually. People collect all kinds of things.
yeah. No, there was a, what do you call it? A haunted house on, I think it was Coney Island. And I'm trying to remember what his name was, but he's the guy who created, like, He-Man and everything.
Yes.
So he made Skeletor. So he made that after this like skeleton mummy thing that he saw in this haunted house when he was a kid, and like throughout his whole childhood he swore it was a real one, right?
Yeah.
And then it comes out years later that the guy was actually like a murder victim that had been stored in this place.
What?
A prop company found it, sold it to there.
What?
And so yeah, and like it turned out, like, I can't remember, like probably like 80 years later, they're like, oh, this actually was a dead guy.
That's
That we just had.
terrifying. You know, you got to find your muse somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. But no, there was a trail near where I used to live, and a bobcat or something would take like animals over there. So like whenever you'd walk through, you'd find like
All the bones.
all the bones
Ooh.
from like,
You got the hookup.
yeah.
You
So
got the spot.
it was pretty cool. Found like gigantic raccoon skull there.
That is, yeah. I still have a hard time seeing like roadkill and stuff. Like I'm not at that point yet where I can like
Yeah,
decompose anything. I find it clean and I'm like, I'll take that home.
yeah. No, I definitely wasn't like digging apart carcasses. These were already dried bones.
Yes, yes.
I'm too scared of diseases, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you can appreciate it too. Yeah, I was worried a lot of people were going to be like, this is so weird. Like, what? And I have had a couple people be like, this
Yeah.
is weird. Like, where did this come from? But I don't think it's weird. It's literally nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is strange. Like, I feel like we're super separated from death nowadays. Like, people don't want to think about it or see it or whatever.
Bound to happen
Yeah.
to everybody and everything.
Yeah. But no, like, I find it, like, interesting seeing like the intricacy of creation, I suppose. Like because you look at like we kind of separate like watching like a biology video or something from our actual selves.
That's a good point. That's literally what it is.
But like
It's existence.
you're like and like every once in a while I'll just think like, dude, like no, like all this stuff I've read about, all these like down to like single cells that are doing all this stuff, like that's going on right now.
Yeah.
Like,
As we speak.
We're really weird when you think about it.
Yeah, I guess it's good to be weird. Yeah, I mean, life is weird.
Yeah.
This existence is weird.
Yeah. So, I guess, so you sort of got serious about this and stuff.
Fairly recently.
Yeah. And, so how hard have you found it, like, not only selling, but trying to figure out what to value your work at?
Oh, interesting. I think getting out there, putting myself out there has not been hard at all. Yeah, the community's very welcoming, definitely. I've been doing the New Moon Markets downtown, and...
Where are the... downtown Tyler?
Yeah, it's like on the square, monthly.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone there is so nice. They love the bugs. They love the bones. Like, it's wonderful. And then pricing, yes, I found that difficult. I went to Trisha. She actually framed those up there. I went to her, and she was like, what are these prices? Like, you are worth so much more. And, yeah, that was kind of a wake-up call. Because in my head, I wasn't like, I'm trying to make some money. I was like, I'm trying to get my stuff out there,
Yeah,
So I think that's where I didn't think it was a problem, but... when I seeked help from a professional, she was like, girl, you're worth more than that. And so is your art.
Yeah. So have you found more success, less success, or not necessarily success, but like, I guess income or sales since you've switched that up?
Yeah, I mean, I raised my prices immediately after talking to her because I was like, she wasn't kidding. Like, she's
You just got out a marker and started
on
crossing
my
out.
website, I immediately like went on there and I was like, okay, like stuff was selling because I just like put my website up and I was like, if I change it, like, are they still gonna want to buy from me because there's still shipping fees and stuff? And yeah, it didn't stop anything. Stuff kept selling, so
Yeah.
that was wonderful.
I think that is like hard for creatives to figure out how to do that, because it's not that we devalue our work, it's just we want as many people to appreciate it
Definitely
as possible.
I had a lot of stuff at my first booth. It was like $1. Oh, you can have this for free since you bought that. It was yeah, I just wanted to get it all out there. I think I just want people to have it. I want to share it.
Yeah
It's fun.
So I guess, because I kind of got two questions that kind of go off of this, but first, like, what did you come up with a system on, like, how to price things, or are you still figuring that out?
I think I probably am still figuring it out.
Yeah.
Because there's sometimes that I see something that I think is worth a lot. But I'm like, I really want someone to have it. I want to be affordable to where the people who like my art can afford to buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. So have you come up with any sort of system, or is it just...
I think it's random. A lot of my artwork, too, like, no two are the same. So really, it's like everything gets its own individual price because it's all different. Like, especially my stamps, like... they're not going to come out the same, so usually I do those pretty low because it's just a print. Like, I could make so many. Everybody could have one. That's when it's easy to do $1. I'm just like, does everybody want one? I can make
Here,
more.
I'll just stamp your hand.
Yeah, I can make more.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I guess with your artwork, do you feel the same like love and passion for every piece you create, or do you feel like some like go beyond whatever else you're doing?
That is also a good question. I think some of them take more time, and so I would say since they're taking more of my energy, maybe they could possibly mean a bit more, but they're all getting love. Like every single one when I'm making them, I'm like, this is so cool every single time. Definitely.
So you don't ever feel like burnt out or anything? It's just like...
No. Yeah, I think right now I have to have still like a work-life balance. And so it's kind of like a hobby, like side hustle thing right now. So I do it when I like am trying to rest. I'm not doing it when I'm like, oh, I have to make this for the event. I'm just like, wow, I'm feeling kind of chill. Maybe I could play with some mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you ever feel like, just personality wise, because like a lot of artists I know are, and this may sound like wrong, but it's not wrong.
Say it.
But like kind of compulsive. Like they get on something, and like that's just their thing. So do you feel that way about it, or have you found it easier to strike that work-life balance?
I think that there's endless possibilities. Like I never know what I'm gonna find when I go out in the woods. So I never really know what's gonna come out of it. And you also never really know what the end product of a butterfly will look like either. Like they're so fragile, sometimes you'll lose a wing. And now you've got to throw something else in there and make it work. So yeah, I think I'm still figuring that out.
Yeah. So as like far as like composition and stuff with that, do you like like gather up a bunch of stuff and you like make that work, or like, you know, I gotta find 4 butterflies so I can find the perfect one for this composition?
Yeah, or... I think I'm in the woods a lot, honestly. And so I always come out with something. And so I'll kind of get a pile going on. Yeah, I don't think I'm quite thinking that strategically yet. I'm just kind of like, oh, look what I found. And then when I'm home later at the table, I'm like, yeah, that looks good with that. That looks good with that. I have this spare frame over here. So yeah, I'd say it's more thought out after I have all my materials than it is like I'm looking for something for a piece beforehand.
Yeah, for sure. Because like that is what's kind of different with working with natural materials. Like, you know, you have a painter or a sculptor or something. They force whatever medium into
what
they
want. Yeah, that's a good point. That's good. Yeah, way to look at it.
Whereas,
I can't do that. Yeah, mine will fall apart and break. Yeah. I really like when I can find them already dried and preserved, and yeah, sometimes you have to dry them out. Sometimes bugs get stinky too.
Oh yeah.
Fun fact. Yeah.
So is that with butterflies too? Like you have to dry them out and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, their little bodies. You gotta be real careful.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's that process like? Just like setting them aside for a while, or do you have?
Sometimes it's as simple as that. You can put them in a windowsill, let them get some sunlight. Sometimes they're already dried. Whenever I find them, they'll be like dead on a log. I'll take the whole log because that's that's beautiful.
Yeah.
We also have like a dehydrator too, but yeah, you have to be careful.
Yeah, you don't want to like mix in your beef jerky with the bugs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we got a separate one, but yeah. I think it's nice when you don't have to work as hard and you can just put them in the sunlight.
Yeah. For sure. So, like, when you're, like, collecting the beetles and everything, is there sort of, like, a naturalist aspect to it where you're like, oh, this is this kind of beetle or something? Or...
Yeah, I try to figure it out, especially because at booths, people are like, what is this? So, I'm like, I gotta know what that is. Google image search.
It's a bug.
Yeah. There's so many bugs out there, though. I think I'm really mostly familiar with the cicadas because I'm seeing them everywhere. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so are you talking about just the shells or like an actual like
the actual? Yeah, both. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I found a couple that are just dead, laying there. So I put them in little jars. Yeah.
It's kind of cool though, like the preserving aspect.
Yeah.
Of that.
Otherwise, it's gonna get like raked up and.
Yeah.
Decompose, which I guess is supposed to happen, but I'm gonna put it in a jar.
No, I actually got a picture it's the first time I've seen it is cicada actually coming out of the shell.
Yes.
I hadn't seen that before. I found the shells everywhere and stuff. But
yes.
yeah, it was just like trees like that. There's a shell, and he's just like planking out.
Yes. That's cool that you got to see that.
Yeah. No, for sure. So have you always like been drawn to the outdoors and stuff?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Yeah, I think ever since I was like as far back as I can remember. Me and my sister have always been playing outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just adventurous sort of.
Yes, yeah. And I lived in Oklahoma for a couple years, and that was nice because there's a lot of waterfalls, like Turner Falls, and yeah, it was nice. And then I moved, when I came back to Tyler, I was living with my grandmother, and her garden is beautiful. That was like, yeah, really brought me back down to earth whenever I lived with her, and when I really was like, there is so much more to life, like in these simple things, like in the garden, in the flowers, and the butterflies, than there is, like, in my opinion, other things out there, other materialistic things. Because that's when I felt like pure bliss, was just standing alone outside, listening to the birds, looking at the flowers, and I feel like I just want to chase those moments more often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess where do you see your art going, or like where do you want it to go from here?
Yes, I never want to stop making art. I know that for a fact. I ideally would like to see the studio become like way more of a workspace where I have a lot more, like I want to find more bones and things. I want to get better. I just want to continue to get better at what I do. And yeah, keep doing booths and keep putting myself out there. And I don't see myself deterring away from nature at all. I think it'll always stay nature inspired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty cool though. Like you definitely have like something unique in.
Well, thank you. Thank you. We definitely talked about having this be like a creative workspace, not even just for me, like other people could come out here and make art. And we kind of want to build a stage outside the studio because like Bryce's brother-in-law's in a band. So like all kinds of artists.
What band is he in? You were talking about wanting to turn this into like a creative space for other artists.
Yes, yeah. And maybe a stage for people, all kinds of artists, musician artists could come out. Yeah.
So, like, besides, like, a stage and stuff, like, are you thinking, like different, like, completely different crafts from what you do, too? Like,
yeah. I'd want anyone to be able to come express themselves.
Yeah.
Like, music is an art, so people could be playing out there. My cousin's really good at hula hooping. That, to me, is an art. She could come out here and hula hoop. Like, yeah.
Hula hoop while the band's playing.
Exactly, yeah. Everyone's got their own little, expressing themselves in their own little way.
Yeah. No, that'd definitely be cool. Because, like, Tyler, it's, like, starting to happen. But, like, I feel like there needs to be more communities like that.
I
where
agree.
People can come together and collaborate on things.
Yeah, safe spaces.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then we'll have forging in the corner of the safe space.
Honestly, I found a lot of mushrooms here, too. Walking to the mailbox.
I didn't mean forging, like hammer, hot metal.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah, anything. All is welcome.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
No, I'd be excited for that to happen. So, I guess, because I've ran out of good questions, is there anything you want to talk about on the podcast?
I would like to compliment you. You've done a really great job. Seriously, you asked me questions that I was mentally prepared to express. You sounded genuinely interested. And, yeah, I think you let me express myself perfectly.
Well, thank you.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
No, I just like talking to people. I find people interesting. So.
Thank you. Yeah,
but
you seem unordinary yourself.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm going to link all the stuff for you down below. So if people want to check you out.
Perfect.
And,
please do.
Yeah. And definitely go see Kylie wherever she's selling stuff and buy some of her art.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Kind of like that video just watched, huh? Go ahead and like and subscribe and share it. If you liked it. If you didn't like it, you know. It's a free country at the end of the day. So.
Clouds of white.
Oh, you did? Oh, thanks.